Hello everyone and welcome back to the Angels franchise. You may have noticed it at the end of the last episode, but the Astros are really struggling this year. They're 50 and 60, so they're actually a game back of us at 51 and 59. Typically a team that is really good in the AL West, but not this season. It's been dominated by the Mariners and the Rangers, and the Mariners in particular have taken the lead in the division. If we look at the rest of the AL, the Central led by the Twins 59 and 51. The East is led by the Red Sox, but I mean, this is still anyone's division. The fact that the Blue Jays are the worst team here and they're within 6 is saying something. The wild card race currently led by the Rangers. The Orioles still hold that 3rd spot. If you're curious about the Angels, we are now 7 games back, so just continuing basically episode after episode to slip further and further back from being contenders in the wild card. So if you missed it, these are the trades that we made in the last episode. So we did a little bit of a mini blow up, trading up Yoan Moncada, Kenley Jansen, Yusei Kikuchi, Jorge Soler, and a couple others. So the lineup is still mostly the same. Trout is moved to DH now. His regression has stopped for what it's worth. He's been really good since coming back from the injuries, getting a number of multi-hit games. His average is slowly but surely climbing. It's now back over 250, and the power is definitely there. 16 home runs on the season. We of course traded Soler so that Trout could move into that DH role, and then that means that Joe Adell has taken over right field. He's still not playing super well, but he does have fairly limited at bats, so we'll give him some more time, but batting a 176 so far, obviously not great. Mickey Moniak stays in center, and we have ultimately decided not to trade Taylor Ward yet. He has 1 more year of team control. We'll keep him around for that 1 more year. And then we did decide to keep Rengifo, which could be controversial potentially if we can't re-sign him, but he wants a ton of money on his contract extension. He's looking for $12 million per year for like 4 years. And we do have the money for that. I just don't know if Rengifo is necessarily worth that, but we're going to wait and see if we can re-sign him at the end of the season. Otherwise, he will walk. But the lineup truly is mostly the same. Kevin Newman also plugs in at 3rd base. He's actually improving weirdly a lot, and he's a pretty solid fielder, although his stats this year are not very good. Now that there's no scouting to be done, now that there's no trade deadline to worry about, it's all about simming through the rest of the season and getting ready for year number 2, where I think the team kind of really becomes our team. Well, I simmed about a week and it went pretty badly, only winning 1 game against Tampa Bay. We got swept by Chicago again. The White Sox are supposed to be one of the worst teams in baseball. We can't even win once against them, and we'll enter a game here against the Tigers. Ignore that their jerseys are just consistently the spring training jerseys. For some reason, the game autos to that. So when I enter a situation, I can't set their jerseys. But Trout is in a situation to take the lead for the Angels here in the rain. Grounder back up the middle, softly hit. Is there any chance at a double play? Trout beats out the throw at first. So only 1 gone on the fielder's choice. Runner on first, runner on third. But yeah, anyway, for some reason the game is defaulting to these jerseys for the Tigers. Whenever I play a full game against them, I'll make sure they're wearing real jerseys from now on. But that's why you've seen them a couple of times in this series now wear these weird spring training jerseys. I actually don't hate them. They just do very obviously look like spring training jerseys. Joe Adell at the plate, continuing to struggle this season. Had a meatball of a knuckle curve just then. Adell well hit to right. Shawnuel is actually tagging up. He is not fast, and the tag is made despite the offline throw because Shawnuel could not get past the catcher. No runs come across. Brutal. Shawnuel just not fast enough. And due to that, the Tigers will take the victory. That is now a 5th loss in a row for the Angels, which is kind of a little bit what we wanted, as we've now fallen back behind the Astros by a game. We're 1-9 in our last 10, but we've been wanting to lose a little bit more, get some better draft picks in the future, and we'll step into this game versus the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I'm sure, a team the Angels fans loathe since they took Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani going on to win a World Series immediately with the other LA team. Shawnuel high and deep to right. If it stays fair, it has a chance, but no, it's caught at the wall, and the Dodgers will take a victory. Shawnuel, if he can hit that 1 more foot, probably it's over the glove of the right fielder and we walk it off. But instead, it is a loss for the Angels once again. The woes continue. I am a little bit concerned that when I exit this screen, I'm going to see that Mickey Moniak got injured because Scott Kingery pinch ran for him very early in this one. For what it's worth, he did then go 3 for 3. And what do you know? I was correct. Mickey Moniak bruised his leg. He won't be out for very long. We're going to keep him active, but we are going to plug Kingery into center field for now. Although let's swap him and Adele. Adele is the better fielder, so I'd prefer Adele be in center when Moniak's not available. Kingery can play right. So another situation we're jumping into versus the Dodgers. Roki Sasaki on the mound. Zach Neto at the plate. Down 2, bottom of the 9th. A home run would walk it off for Neto. Sasaki gets him to swing at the first pitch. And it's popped way up in the infield, and that will end the game. Another time where I step in just to immediately lose to the Dodgers. Another loss for the Angels. That is 8 losses in a row for the Halos. Getting brutal out here. Trout, though, has halted his regression, which is an important thing to consider. He's honestly not having a terrible year at this point with the 255 average, 356 OBP. It's obviously not MVP Mike Trout, but it's a pretty good Mike Trout, a version that I would take. And everyone else is cold. Neto, cold. Ward, cold. Ohapi, Adele. Detmers is warm. Kevin Newman's cold. Shawnuel's cold. I figured we'd jump into a full game. It's kind of been a while since we've done a full game. Mostly been hopping into events and doing player locks. We're going to play one against the Athletics here, a team that has been very, very bad this season. We have lost 8 in a row. The whole offense is cold. We're looking to snap that losing streak against a team that is worse than us in the Athletics. So hopefully we can get the ship righted here, or perhaps we just continue to lose. JP Sears on the mound for the A's. He's 7-10 this year. Honestly, not the worst numbers considering how bad the A's have been, but still pretty bad. Zach Neto will lead us off. His average back down below 270. They're not the Oakland Athletics. They're not the Vegas Athletics. They're not the Sacramento Athletics. They're just the Athletics this season. Neto, opposite way, and that's going to get down for a single to start the day for Zach Neto. Rengifo is going to ground into a double play, it looks like, unless he can beat out the throw, and he does. Tie goes to the runner, and Rengifo definitely tied. Not the fastest man alive, but beat that one out. So here's Mike Trout after the fielder's choice. Trout crushes the second pitch he sees. Straight away center field, 440 feet out of the ballpark. The 18th home run on the season for Mike Trout. And 2 runs come around for the Angels to get this one started. That was a perfect. And yeah, just a high fastball, low 90s. You can't place a fastball up there if you can't throw it very hard, but he tried his best and it got blasted out of here. Speaking of blasted, that is well hit. 117 off the bat from Joe Adele. That is a single for him. Nolan Shawnuel is going to attempt to ground into a double play, and he does. So that'll end the top part of the first, but 2-0 Angels to start out this one. Jose Soriano on the mound. His numbers have come back down to earth, but still has been easily our best pitcher this season. Best starting pitcher, that is. He faces Lawrence Butler, who was on the Athletics trade block. They ultimately did not move him. Not sure why he was on the trade block. Definitely seems like a player to build around as he cracks this one back up the middle. Nearly the same hit Joe Adele did, just the half inning prior. I'm actually a little surprised the Athletics have been as bad as they've been this year, because I think they have a decent roster construction and a fairly bright future, but they've been absolutely horrible this season as Urshela grounds into a double play as I'm trying to praise their roster. Brent Rooker, obviously a very good player as he swings at a breaking ball way out there. Surprised they didn't move on from him with how bad they are this season, as that gets the call at the bottom of the zone. Rooker not happy about it, and he shouldn't be. I think that one missed, but we'll take the strikeout. Kevin Newman, the new everyday third baseman. He's batting a 207, so he's not playing as well as Moncada was. Moncada was actually having a pretty good season. I believe his average was up over 270 at the time of the trade, perhaps maybe in the 260s. And he'll pop this one way up into right field. That is absolutely zero problem. Travis d'Arnaud playing catcher today. He's still pretty decent against lefty pitching, as he'll prove it by getting a base hit here, but otherwise has just regressed beyond the point of return. And then Scott Kingery, well struck, but the shortstop makes the play, and we get through the top of the second, nothing happening. Shea Langoliers deep to left field. Ward will try to get a read on this, and it goes over the fence. Langoliers with a 362-foot home run. Ward can't quite rob him of it, and the Athletics are on the board. Strike three looking for J.J. Bleday. That's the first out of the second. Geloff trying to fight off this pitch, will pop it up to shallow center. Rengifo makes the play, 2 gone. And this one is going to get past Neto, a base hit for Kyle McCann. Ward gets it back into second. Grounder to third. Newman just lets it go under his glove. That should have been inning over. That has to be an error. Yeah, E5 is the ruling. It just goes straight under Newman's glove. Take another look at this. I mean, that is just an everyday play that Newman just missed. Count is full for Max Muncy. Soriano's pitch will just miss. I mean, I think you could call that a strike. It touched the zone at the very least. Bases loaded for Lawrence Butler. I did see that he was batting below a 200 with runners in scoring position, hoping he keeps that trend up. And he swings and misses at a fastball that touches 100. So Soriano allows the 1 run off of the home run, but gets out of the bases loaded jam thanks to a bad swing from Lawrence Butler. Look at the Angels offense last series. Runs per game 1.3, the average 167. Rengifo back up the middle, and that'll bounce in front of the center fielder. 1 gone in the inning for Mike Trout. Literally the exact same situation for him, actually. 1 gone. Rengifo on first. Crushed a homer last time, and ooh, maybe should have had another one. He was just early on the swing. Trout. Moonshot to left. Is that also out of here? It looks like it. Trout 2 for 2 with 2 homers. That one went into the stratosphere before falling out of the stadium. Trout with a second home run, responsible for all 4 of the runs scored by the Angels in this one. Is Mike Trout back, ladies and gentlemen? I'd say that maybe he is, based on how he's been performing since the injury. So some more run support thanks to Mike Trout. It is 4-1. We got to stop leaving that breaking ball hanging, Soriano. Swing and a miss from Brent Rooker. Second strikeout of the inning for Soriano. Swing and a miss as well for Langoliers. They really like swinging at that breaking ball. That is apparently Soriano's main strikeout pitch. Fast forward to the bottom of the 4th. Another error for the Angels. This time, Zach Neto has led to a leadoff base runner. That will get past Newman. There's a chance that the runner will score from first this time. Ward needs to get this one back in quickly. They are sending the runner around. Need a good throw from Newman, and the error leads to a run on the very next batter. And that is why errors are bad. So maybe we need to reevaluate the fielding on this team. Still only 1 earned run from Soriano, that home run that he gave up earlier. But now only the 2-run lead for him. Strike 3 called on Kyle McCann. And I mean, that is right there. This might be the last inning of work for Soriano, as he is already quite tired. Throwing a lot of pitches. This is number 91, as it misses low and outside. Strikes out Seth Brown looking. 8th strikeout for Soriano. Grounder to Neto. Maybe this one won't eat him up, and it doesn't. That'll end the 4th. So a run scores due to an error. 4-2 for the Angels. Neto, trying to make up for the error, will walk to lead off our half of the 5th. So now Rengifo just needs to ground into a fielder's choice to put him on first. Neto's out at second, and then Trout will hit another home run. Oh my God. Or beat him to it by a step. Luis Rengifo, a bomb to right. It stays fair, and it's gone. Didn't want to wait for Trout to do it. He does it himself. The 14th on the season for Rengifo, trying to earn that contract he wants so badly. Gets this one over the fence and extends the lead for the Angels. Nobody on first for Trout. but maybe he hits his third of the game. Oh my goodness. Trout is seeing the ball like crazy. Trout grounder beats the shift. They were shifted to the left. Normally a pull hitter hits this one opposite direction, and a single for Mike. So he can do it all. He can homer twice. He can single. Joe Adell goes down on strike. Shawnuel now at the plate. This is pretty well struck to right center field. That's going to get down for extra bases. Trout will score easily from first, and Nolan Shawnuel in with a stand-up double. 7-2 for the Halos. Travis d'Arnaud to the plate. This is hit well to left center field, and that's going to be a double for the old man as he'll find his way into second. Scott Kingery to the plate, as this one does not get down, but it is deep enough that d'Arnaud, of all people, can tag up. He goes to third. One gone here in the sixth. We're back to the top of the order, runner in scoring position. Neto, opposite field. I think that one is going to be caught. d'Arnaud is tagging up, heading home. A good throw from Butler, and safe is the call at the plate for d'Arnaud. A very bang play, but d'Arnaud makes the right decision. Tags up and scores. 8-2 Angels. As this is going to be maybe a base hit for Rengifo. Diving play by the shortstop, and he is safe at first. That was very close. Up comes Mike Trout. He is 3 for 3 today, a single and a couple homers. Every time he's homered, Rengifo has been on first. But as I was saying, I do use automatic base running because I think it's kind of funny to watch the players make their own mistakes and just generally make the decisions for themselves. Oh my God, Trout should have had the third homer of the day. Pops it into foul territory. That will end the sixth. And that does it. A win for the Angels. They snap an 8-game losing streak. Offense gets it going, and they beat a division rival in the Athletics. So player of the game, without a doubt, Mike Trout. 4 for 5, 2 homers, a single, a double. He's responsible for 4 of the RBIs. Elite day for Rengifo as well, by the way. 4 hits for him. Let's not just gloss over that. 2 RBIs as well. Neto with a hit and an RBI. Shawnuel with an RBI. Couple hits for d'Arnaud. Pretty good day, all things considered, for the Angels offense. Jose Suarez is the one who ends up with the win. Only 1 earned run given up for Soriano. He did have to throw a ton of pitches in this game to get out of innings. Couldn't quite get through the 5th. So let's see how we can wrap up this series against the Athletics, as Mickey Moniak has recovered from his injuries. So we will plug him back in. He will go to center field. Joe Adell back in right field. We do win the second game 11-5 versus the Athletics. I wanted to call them Oakland just then. 3 hits for Shawnuel, 4 RBIs for Neto, 3 hits for Newman, 3 hits for Taylor Ward. Detmers unfortunately gave up 5 earned runs in only 3 innings pitched, so a bad performance, but the offense helps him out. Suarez gets another win. Dakota Hudson, weirdly enough, gets the save. Pitched 4 full innings. Can we sweep the A's? No, dude. Can we sweep the A's, I ask, as Mike Trout tears his ACL and will need to be shut down for the season. He was having such a great bounce back after the first injury, and now he's done for the year. This injury would, of course, actually go into the next season. Torn ACLs are pretty serious. Fortunately for us, it's MLB The Show. He'll be back at the very start of next season because all injuries just reset. But yeah, he's shut down for the rest of the year. Oh, this rebuild's going to be so tough if Trout just keeps getting hurt. We do win the game. Trout gets a couple hits and then I guess tears his ACL on the second one. Oh, did he tear it on his stolen base? He successfully stole a base, and I bet that's when he tore his ACL. Trout, you got to stop moving, I think. You are Albert Pujols now. I'll actually present that as a thought to you guys. What do you guys think about just lowering his stealing rating as a way for like the manager of the team to be like, hey, you can't run anymore. Like that is just not happening. And we traded away Jorge Soler, who would have been obviously DHing in this spot. Unreal. Could be time for the debut of Chase DeLauter. He is probably pretty close to MLB ready. We could go sign another free agent, but it's late in the year. Chase is not playing particularly well at AAA this season. David Dahl could just take over as a starter. We could just call up somebody that is less a part of the future. There's Jake Fox. He's a center fielder utility guy, more of a fielder, not much of a bat. If I knew Trout was going to tear his ACL, I probably wouldn't have traded Soler, but you know, hindsight as always, 2020. Guys, I'm not joking when I'm saying Trout was frying recently. When he first got injured, his average was like 220, 230. He's got that thing all the way up to a 270, a 368 OBP, 540 slugging, a 900 OPS, 19 homers, 51 RBIs. He was catching everyone else. I mean, he was bouncing back. He had completely stopped the regression he was seeing. We hadn't seen it get any worse since he came back. Obviously, just had that insane game with him. And then he tears his ACL, dude. This is going to be the whole series, by the way, if you're curious. This is just going to be me dealing with Trout, having these awful injuries, and then having to pick up the scraps. This sucks. So lineup-wise, honestly, all we're going to do is we're going to plug in David Dahl as the DH against righties, and we're going to plug in Ryan Noda as the DH against lefties. Don't worry, he's not going to bat third. I just haven't changed it yet. So we're just going to do what we did last time. David Calabrese is going to get called up. He's not a huge part of this future, let's be honest. With the D potential, you're just never really going to be. That D potential is a 66. I'm not that worried about using up and burning his minor league options because of that. So just to fill the hole in the roster, David Calabrese, welcome back to the MLB team. Please do not get injured again. That would suck. I would like to personally apologize by probably getting your hopes up in that 2 home run, 1 double, 1 single game, saying that Trout is so back only for him to get injured in the next 2 days. That's my bad. That's on me. Life without Trout once again. My goodness. First series without him is against the Reds back at home. Home crowd probably devastated. They don't get to see their favorite player. See if we can get Ben Joyce out of the top of the ninth. Joyce faces Ellie De La Cruz, a runner on second, 1 man out. Looking for a save here. I do notice he has found himself in more of these blown save opportunities than Kenley Jansen did. Imagine that just comes with the experience. Grounder to Newman at third. Ellie's fast, but not quite that fast. Noda is at first, I guess, giving Shawnuel the day off. So 2 gone now. Jonah Bride at the plate. And leaving 1 hanging is Ben Joyce, and that is going to result in a blown save as the Reds will tie this one up. So another chance to get a save with Ben Joyce, another failed attempt. Jonah Bride, RBI double. Now again, limit the damage. TJ Friedel. Count is full. Friedel has managed to foul just about everything off and will not chase. He walks to first. So the struggles for Joyce continue in the inning. Misses with the fastball. He's struggling with control right now. Back up the middle, Moniak gonna have to throw somebody out at home. He doesn't have the strongest arm. Throw on its way, safe at the plate. We'll pull Joyce out of the game, but this is probably gonna result in a loss. The Reds end up going on a tear there in the top of the ninth. 5-1 is the final after the blown save. So life without Trout begins with a loss. A lot of guys getting a hit, but not much in terms of scoring. So we get swept at home by the Reds. That doesn't feel good. Reds are a decent ball club, though. They're 67 and 61 on the year. So with that injury to Trout, with the Angels now 55 and 73, really no chance at all of making any kind of playoff push. Not that we'd necessarily want that. I think we kind of just quickly advance through the rest of the season. How did we lose 5-24 versus the Cubs? That is ridiculous. Looks like it started with a horrible performance from Reed Detmers, which was then continued by Dakota Hudson, but 8 runs weren't earned, meaning that that fielding error that Kevin Newman has ended up causing 8 more runs to come across. I guess if that game doesn't tell you where the Angels are currently at, I don't know what will. And now one of our top prospects has broken his ankle and will likely be done for the remainder of the season. Oh, and if that wasn't bad enough, another top prospect has torn his calf and will miss most of the rest of the season. Bad time to be an Angels fan. If you're curious how our affiliate teams are doing, the Bees are 52 and 73, the bottom of the Pacific Coast West Conference, and our AA team team isn't quite as bad. The Trash Pandas are 23 and 26. Christian Moore was playing all right at the AA level. He was playing a little bit worse at AAA, so we sent him down. He's been down here at AA for about half the season now. The numbers don't jump out at you, but they're not overly concerning either. There's a chance he can be back for the last couple of weeks of the season, but most likely he's shut down for the rest of the year. Chase DeLauder, on the other hand, was playing for the Bees at AAA, and he was not having a very good season, and now he will be shut down for basically the rest of the year. He should be at the major league level for spring training next season, though, as he does have a chance to make the final roster depending on what happens in the offseason. Our best players getting hurt. Our farm system players are getting hurt. Another double-digit loss to the Cubs, 2-13 this time. Tyler Anderson on the mound continuing to just be horrible with an ERA over 6. Connor Brogdon has his first truly bad performance, giving up another 4 earned runs. And by the way, I do want to point out that I have seen that Jose Suarez got traded prior to the real life season starting. However, I don't think we're going to make that change. One, because I've recorded these ahead of time, so we're past the trade deadline as it is. Can't trade him until next season anyway, or the off season. And two, Ian Anderson actually doesn't exist in the game. Brian Anderson is the only guy who comes up when you do a player search for Ian Anderson, which, by the way, isn't that kind of crazy that he doesn't exist in the game? He was 5th in Rookie of the Year voting in 2021. So we will not be making that trade. I do intend to keep Suarez around potentially into the future. Time to see if we can steal a game off of the Cubs. Victor Gonzalez on the mound. Top 8 runners on second and third for the lefty reliever. He faces Justin Turner. This is hit pretty well to left field near foul territory. Taylor Ward will chase it down, and it is still a tie ball game. Later in the same one, top 9, 1 gone, 2 runners on, first and second. Ian Happ at the plate, and it is the closer Ben Joyce on the mound. Trying to keep this one tied as we head to the bottom of the 9th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He swings through the low fastball. This is grounded to Neto. Going to take the force out at second. And Joyce does get out of the inning cleanly. So now we'll look to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th. And Joe Adell with an opportunity to do just that. A base hit likely scores. I believe that is Zach Neto from second base. Adell misses the slider right down the middle. Joe Adell still a sub 200 batting average with only a month left in the season. Strike 3 called at the bottom of the zone. Adell not happy about it, but I mean, it is right there. Nolan Shanuel now on to be the hero, and he's going to pop this one way up. And we are headed to extra innings. Top of the 10th, Taylor Ward, one of the few bright spots on this Angels team all season. Could bring around Shanuel. We're down a run, so we need one to come across as Ward pops this one way foul. Swing and a miss on the low slider. That's a great pitch. Newman grounder to short, which actually holds the runner at second. Out number 2. And we're going to pinch hit for Travis d'Arnaud here, who started this game, but O'Hoppe way better against righties. We're going to bring him into this one to hopefully get us a dub with maybe even 1 swing of the bat. O'Hoppe grounder to third. It was a meatball and he missed it. Cubs will win the series 3-0 in a sweep. Angels fall to 20 games under 500, and now we face the Rangers on the road. Neto with another 10-game hit streak. But the Angels are losing this one big time. It is up to Neto to see if he can get that one done. Scott Kingery pulled leg muscle. We'll keep him active. So we dropped the first 2 games of the series to the Rangers. Now an opportunity to jump into this one. Jose Suarez trying to hold on here in the bottom of the 8th. Suarez fresh out of the bullpen, inheriting a horrible situation and facing one of the best in the game in Corey Seager. Seager, a swing and a drive. That is to deep right field. Adell can't track it down, and that is going to likely score 3 runners, and that is indeed the case. So Texas will take the lead on the double from Corey Seager, and that ends up being enough for the victory. So the skid for the Angels continues, losing yet another one and getting swept once again. After a day off, we're still on the road in Houston this time. It's a top 9 situation. Neto looking to take the lead for his ball club. A runner 90 feet from being the 5th run. And Neto will look at strike 1. Neto, this will fall into left field. Base hit, scores that 5th run. And the Angels have the lead as they'll head to the bottom of the 9th. And we're not done yet. Maybe we can get some more across, but at the very least, we've got Ben Joyce a save opportunity. Joe Adele will do almost the exact same thing as the runner's taking off for home. That's Nolan Shawnoel. He's not the fastest, and he gets gunned down at the plate. So only the 1 run scored there for the Angels. We'll see if Joyce can close this one out. Joyce is 13 for 17 on his save opportunities this season. So 4 blown saves. That fastball hit 103 on the gun. Been a disappointing year for the Astros for sure, as they find themselves very middle of the pack in the AL. Joyce struggling to place this slider. Gets a lucky swing there from Cam Smith. Should have been ball 4. Instead, let's see if we can get the punch out. 102 on the gun. After all the recent success that the Astros have had, I'm sure that they're not thrilled about being close to 500, possibly missing the playoffs this year. But of course, I think everyone else that isn't an Astros fan around the majors is happy after what went down in 2017 as Joyce walks Smith. It's the only major weakness of Joyce's game. He sometimes struggles with control and also will give you a few walks from time to time as he faces Altuve here. Strike 3 looking for Altuve. It was a full count. He wanted the walk, but that is well inside the strike zone. 1 down for the Angels. This is hit into right. That will get down for a base hit. Runners taking off for 3rd. Rengifo, throw not in time. Safe is the call at 3rd. And now Joyce has himself in another blown save opportunity. And he faces Yordan Alvarez, having an MVP candidate type of season. 342 average, over a 1,000 OPS, closing in on 40 homers, nearly triple-digit RBIs. I mean, just incredible numbers for Alvarez, as Joyce will get him to pop out. But is this going to be deep enough to score the runner? My lean is yes, unless Moniak can show off an arm. I don't think he has. And there it is. The save is blown. Joyce with another one. This umpire is a very tight strike zone. Has to be well in there. And that one is crushed. Joyce misses the fastball badly. Houston will walk it off as Christian Walker hits that one a country mile. I don't know what it is about Joyce, but sometimes, man, he just misses the placement horribly. Like, that was supposed to be a high and inside fastball, something he can throw, being that he can hit like 104 on the gun, and he just misses. And that one was right down the middle. And when you throw that hard right down the middle, it's going to be blasted. I think Joyce is going to be absolutely incredible in the future, but he is currently struggling down the stretch of this season, but so is the whole team, really. If you're curious, by the way, his true potential is 80. So will he ever be that like super elite closer? Probably not, but I already think he has the stuff to be a pretty good one. And if anything, if we find a better closer, I think he's an incredible setup man. So if we do find somebody who's better in the future, we can always swap him over, as he is very close to his true potential right now. Let's get a chunk of games out of the way though, get near to the end of this season, and it is time for September call-ups, so we can call up a couple of guys to the major league level. I don't know that there's anybody particularly I want to see at the major league level right now. Maybe Ricardo Perez, but also don't want to start his minor league clock. I think one of the obvious answers is Chase Silseth. I don't know if he'll start at all for the rest of the season, but I do want him up at the major league level. And we are going to call up Kyron Paris. He's been playing really well recently at AAA. I mean, look at these recent games for him. So we'll give him a shot. He can play a little bit in the infield. And I'm even going to let Paris get a chance to start against right-handed pitching. That means that Rengifo is going to start playing 3rd against righties so that Paris can play second, and then Newman will still be the starter against lefties where he has much higher contact. Paris's true potential is 74, so I think he could land as a pretty decent platoon middle infielder. Wish he could also play third. That would make him even a little bit more valuable, but we'll see what he's got to close out the season. So continuing the simulation, we do take 2 games off of the Astros in the 4-game series. It's not that impressive considering they're 64 and 76 and almost certainly not making the playoffs. Lost a couple games in a row against Kansas City, and apparently the only team we can beat with any sort of consistency is the Athletics, as we managed to sweep them again. Now we're looking to steal a series away from the Twins. 1-1 in the 3-game set, bottom of the 8th, Taylor Ward. An opportunity to take a lead here in the rain if he can manage to hit one over the fence. Brock Stewart, the man on the mound. Ward looks at ball 1. Ward the opposite way. Is that going to get down? It does. In fact, it's just short of being a homer. We're going to hold Shawnuel at third. I do not trust that he would have beaten that throw. Should have done this before, but Moniak is going to come in as a pinch runner now for Shawnuel. Noda will take over at first after this inning, but we're looking to get Moniak home if we can manage to get a deep enough pop-up. That's all Neto would need. Is that going to do it? I think that is probably deep enough, as Mickey Moniak will tag up from third on his way to the plate, throw offline, and Moniak will score. Neto ties this one up with an RBI flyout. That brings up Joe Adell, who is now at an even 200 average. Could take the lead for his team here. That is smashed to the moon, and that is most definitely not going to advance the runner. And now you'll get to see Kyron Paris for the first time on the channel. He has played a bit in the majors in the past, not very much, and not doing particularly well in those chances. He's 1 for 2 today. He's batting a .238 since becoming a member of the Angels. So he hits this one opposite way and foul. That one gets past the catcher, and we'll have our runner advance to third. So now we're even closer to taking the lead in this one. So a wild pitch, any base hit will score the runner from third. Misses badly again. On his way to the plate is Taylor Ward, and he is safe. Another wild pitch back to back, and it'll cost them a run. 3-2 now for the Halos, as we're giving Joyce another save opportunity that I will almost certainly blow. So now absolutely zero pressure on Kyron Paris. Just a normal at-bat, 2-2 on its way. Grounder to the left side. Does he have the speed to beat out the throw? What a play made by the shortstop. That'll end the 8th. And we've got a save opportunity. Up a run are the Angels. Can Ben Joyce get it done this time? You know what? I'm not even going to give myself the chance to mess this up for Ben Joyce. Let's return to simulating. And great, we get an opportunity to mess it up for Ben Joyce. Runner on first. He almost certainly walked him there. Sack bunt situation, as this is a pretty good one. Noda just going to have to, whoa, step on the bag. Goodness, he just kept running in circles. But that is out number 1. Good Lord. Normally they like have a heat-seeking assist onto the bag, but not that time. Oh, broken bat pop-up straight to Paris at second. 2 gone. Willie Castro is the last out for Ben Joyce, and he'll finally get a save. Can I get him one on the channel? Back to the bread and butter, to the fastball. How does he make contact with 101 almost hitting him in the shins? He swings and misses at one in the dirt. Darno just make the throw to first, and that is game. So we do finally not blow a save for Ben Joyce. Angels get a win and take a series over a pretty good ball club in the Minnesota Twins. 62 and 87. It does look like we might have a marginally better season than we did last year. In fact, just need 2 more wins and it would be a better year. Another opportunity here for the Angels, but Jose, you dug your grave. You're going to lie in it and you actually get it done. Congratulations. So we do take the final game against Seattle. So now we have at worst tied the 2024 season record. So let's go ahead and wrap up this regular season. The Bees season is wrapped up. They finished 63 and 87. Only about a week of matchups left, 6 games for the Halos, and the season will be wrapped up. So let's get started. And oh boy, I get another chance to blow a save with Ben Joyce. What better way to end the season than with me messing up Ben Joyce's numbers, as it looks like they're planning to sack bunt here. Should I just throw it out of the zone then and see what happens? As we do actually get a strike. They're still going for sack bunt. Shanuel, we're going to tag the man on the base pass. So that does advance the runner to second. One gone. This one is popped to shallow right. Joe Adell will chase it down, and the runner elects not to advance. So only one more out to go for another save for Ben Joyce. It's Bobby Witt Jr. Down year for Bobby Witt, 260 average. Bobby Witt only 202 average with runners in scoring position this year. Definitely a bad year for Bobby Witt Jr. Fortunately, I paused my recording on accident, but Joyce did strike out Witt there at the end to get the save. And how about this day for Kyron Paris? 3 for 3, 4 RBIs, including a home run for him. Elite day for Kyron Paris. That is a bad loss for the Royals, by the way. They're unable to win the Central at this point. The Tigers have clinched a postseason appearance, not quite the division yet, though it looks like they're probably going to wrap it up. The Royals have no way to win their division, but they could make it via the wild card. They are a game back of the Orioles after that loss. So this is a pretty crucial series for Kansas City. 0-13 in the second one. Are we for real? Every time Reed Detmers takes the mound, I swear to God, we just get killed. Chase Silseth brought him up again. Horrible again. I said it couldn't be worse than Tyler Anderson. I think I'm absolutely wrong. But we do actually win the series against Kansas City. They're now a game back. It's the Red Sox and the Orioles at the top of the wild card. The East is fascinating. The Blue Jays are a game back. The Yankees are 2 games back. The Rays are 2 games back. I mean, this could completely flip upside down in the last few games of the season. The Red Sox held the division lead. They have lost 6 in a row. 3 more games. We play Houston, unimportant. Both teams eliminated, but we'll keep checking in how other teams are doing as we 2-0 Houston in the second game. Final game of the regular season. 71-91 is the Angels record, first year in the series. So improvement on 2024, but obviously still not a great year. Regular season has come to an end, and let's see, this is the playoff bracket. So the Mariners end up getting a 100-win season, and they win the West. They end up nearly 10 games over the Rangers, who I guess had a late season collapse here, but still making the playoffs. The Tigers win the Central over the Twins, but the Twins make the playoffs as well. The Orioles end up winning the East. The Blue Jays make the wild card, and the Red Sox, who led the division all year, go 2-8 in their last 10. They miss the playoffs entirely. That is just devastating for the Red Sox. I'm not joking. I think every time we checked standings, the Red Sox were at the top of the East and just collapsed here in the final month, the final 10 games. So the wild card for the AL, Rangers, Twins, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Royals miss out by a game each. So the Royals really kind of getting eliminated by the Angels, dropping 2 games to the Los Angeles Angels, cost them the playoffs. In the NL, the East, won by the Braves, only a couple games up on the Phillies. 2 really good teams there at the top. The Mets miss the playoffs, it looks like. We'll take a look at that in the wild card in just a second. The Reds win the NL Central. The Brewers miss out on the playoffs, losing the division by only a game. Dodgers best record in baseball, 115-47. Diamondbacks and Padres each over 90 wins. They both make the playoffs as well. The wild card is the Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres. And yeah, the Mets, they miss out on the playoffs despite having an 88-win season just because the NL West was so strong. Diamondbacks and Padres each with over 90 wins. Could have won some other divisions, but they play with the Dodgers. So the wild card is like the best they're ever going to be able to do as long as Shohei Ohtani exists. So despite getting Juan Soto, the Mets miss out. The team with the worst record in baseball actually ends up being the Athletics, which I know that their team rating is 27th. I don't actually feel like their roster is all that horrible. So I'm a little surprised to see that they did so poorly. The White Sox do get over 100 losses again, but 60-102 is improved on previous seasons. So, and then the Rockies end up with another 100 loss season, 53-109. Those are kind of the bottom feeders of the league. So here's your playoff bracket. In the wild card, the Rangers face the Twins, the Orioles face the Blue Jays, Detroit and Seattle are the top 2 seats in the AL. On the NL side, it's the Dodgers, it's the Braves as the 1 and the 2. Phillies will play the Diamondbacks, and the Reds will play the Padres. I can't can't help but feel like the NL just feels a lot stronger this year coming into the playoffs. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly have no idea how long this episode is going to be as I record this. In the next episode, we'll do the off season. It'll be the entire off season. I'll show you guys the final stats from this regular season. So we'll get kind of a season recap, go through the playoffs, and then go through the off season. But hope you guys are continuing to enjoy the Angels franchise. I apologize that maybe the last couple months have felt probably a little bit rushed, but also just being past the deadline, being past the draft, we're to the point where we kind of want to move on to year number 2, where the team kind of truly becomes our team as we're continuing to rebuild. We'll get those draft picks in. We'll be able to construct our roster and hopefully start building a team that can maybe contend a little bit more in the American League. Shout out as always to the channel members. You guys are the reasons I continue to make these videos. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next episode where we'll do our first off season in the Angels franchise.